The questions below are taken from a real SAT test dated March 2005 and are used courtesy of the College Board for nonprofits. 12. The ambassador was entertained lavish by Hartright, whose company has a monetary interest in the industrial development of the new country. The ambassador was entertained, verb, adjective, lavishly. You need an adverb there. Entertained, how? Entertained lavishly by Hartright, whose company, Hartright's company has, this is correct, a monetary interest, has an interest in, that's correct. 13. Among the discoveries made possible by the invention of the telescope, they found that dark spots existed on the sun in varying numbers. This is wrong. This is one of the discoveries. So, for example, you can say among the discoveries made possible by the invention of the telescope is the finding that dark spots existed on the sun in varying numbers. Number 14. This liberal arts college has decided requiring all students to study at least one non-European language. This college has, correct, singular, singular, has decided to require. You decide to do something or you decide upon an action. But with the verb, you have to say, it has decided to require all students, require them to do what? To study at least one non-European language. 25 years after Alex Haley's roots stimulate many people to research their family histories, new technology has been developed to make the task easier. So we're being told that 25 years after this, stimulated many people to research, stimulated people to do what? To research their family histories. New technology has been developed, is present perfect, so it goes from the past to the present. This is in the past. This new technology has been developed to make the task easier. For months, the press had praised Thatcher's handling of the international crisis, and editorial views changed quickly when the domestic economy worsened. This part is good, this part is bad, right? Change quickly. So you need to say for months the press had praised Thatcher's handling of the international crisis, but editorial views changed quickly. Change, verb, quickly, adverb, correct. When the domestic economy worsened, past tense, correct. 17. Experiments have shown that human skin provides natural protection against a surprising large number of infectious bacteria. Experiments have shown, from past to present, present perfect tense, that's correct. Plural, plural, correct. That human skin provides, present tense, singular, singular, correct, natural protection against a surprisingly large. This is an adjective, you need an adverb to modify the adjective. Large number of bacteria is correct. 18. In the aggressive society created by William Golding in Lord of the Flies, both Ralph and Jack emerge early on as the leader of the Lost Boys. In the aggressive society created by William Golding in Lord of the Flies, both Ralph and Jack emerge early on as the leaders. Who emerges? These two people emerge as the leaders, so this has to be plural, of the Lost Boys. Number 19. More than 40 years have passed since 250,000 people marched on Washington, D.C. in an attempt to secure civil rights for Black Americans. More than 40 years have passed, so from past to present, present perfect tense, correct, since 250,000 people marched, since that time in the past, that's correct, in an attempt to, that's correct, to secure civil rights for Black Americans. 20. Careful analysis of pictures of the moon reveal that parts of the moon's surface are markedly similar to parts of the Earth's. Careful analysis of pictures of the moon. This analysis reveals. Yeah, when you see a verb, always look for the subject. Make sure that the verb and the subject agree. Okay. Analysis, singular, reveals, singular, that parts of the moon's surface are, parts are, plural, plural, correct. Markedly similar, adjective, adverb, correct, to parts of the earth's, meaning parts of the earth's surface, because you cannot compare the earth to the moon's surface, right? This is correct because it's got that apostrophe S. Number 21. London differs from other cities such as Paris and New York in that its shopping areas are so widely spread out. Singular, differs from, correct, such as other cities, examples, correct, in that its shopping areas, the shopping areas of London, are so widely spread out, plural, plural, all good. A. 22. The architect's research shows that even when builders construct houses of stone, they still use the hammer more than any tool. The architect's research, singular, singular, shows that even when builders construct, plural, plural, houses made of stone, they still use the hammer more than any other tool. Because the hammer is also a tool. So when you compare the hammer, you have to say the hammer is more useful than any other tool. 23. Of the two options, neither the system of appointing judges to the bench nor the process of electing judges are entirely satisfactory. Out of these two options, that's correct, neither this system nor this system of appointing, of electing, or balanced or good, is entirely, neither system, neither process is. The verb agrees with the subject closest to it. Here it's the process. No, the process of electing judges is entirely satisfactory. D. 24. Carlos cherished the memory of the day when him and his sister Rosa were presented with awards in recognition of meritorious service to the community. Okay, Carlos cherished the memory. What memory? Who was presented? They were presented with awards. They equals he and his sister. He and she. Of the day when she was presented and he was presented. So together they were presented with awards. And these awards were for what? They were in recognition of meritorious service to the community. A. 25. The famous filmmaker had a tendency of changing his recollections, perhaps out of boredom at having to tell interviewers the same story over and over. The famous filmmaker had a tendency to change. You can't say a tendency of changing. He had a tendency to change. He tends to, because you say he tends to change his story every time he's interviewed. He tends to change his recollections every time he's interviewed. Okay, the famous filmmaker had a tendency to change his recollections. Why did he do it? Perhaps out of boredom at having to tell interviewers the same story over and over. B. 26. Norwegian writer Sigrid Undset is like the novelist Walter Scott in her use of historical backgrounds, but unlike his books, she dwells on the psychological aspects of her characters. This writer is like this other writer, is like the novelist Walter Scott. How is she like him? She's like him in her use of historical backgrounds, but unlike him, you cannot compare a person, you cannot compare her to his books, you compare her to him. But unlike him, she dwells. Unlike Walter Scott, she dwells on the psychological aspects of her characters. So C. 27. The television station has received many complaints about the clothing advertisements, which some viewers condemn to be tasteless. The TV station has received, singular, singular, that's correct, many complaints about the clothing ads, which, so some viewers condemn those ads. They condemn them as. You cannot condemn something to be. You consider something to be tasteless. You deem something to be tasteless. and so you condemn it as tasteless. 28. The relationship between goby fish and striped shrimp are truly symbiotic, for neither can survive without the other. The relationship between these two is, it's singular, truly symbiotic, because is, who are? Nobody. It is, the relationship is truly symbiotic, for neither can survive without the other. Neither animal can survive without the other. Winston Churchill, unlike many English prime ministers before him, had deep insight into the workings of the human mind. Winston Churchill, unlike many English prime ministers before him, unlike those who went before him, so he's a prime minister, unlike the others, he had deep insight into the workings of the human mind. Beautiful and all correct.